Is Draymond Detroit bound? That's what we're talking about on Golden State Warriors today by Chat Sports. My name is Chase Sr. Appreciate all of you for making today's show a part of your day. According to reports, Draymond Green, who grew up in Michigan, has always wanted to play for the Detroit Pistons, and the Pistons are being talked about as a potential destination for Draymond Green if the Warriors don't give him that contract extension that he is seeking. And according to The Athletic, it's the Golden State Warriors who don't really, as of now, want to give Draymond that max deal. Getting a little bit older, somewhat declining, but what you know about Draymond Green, he has been so crucial to the Warriors' success. 6 NBA Finals appearances over the last 8 years, 4 championships. One of the best defensive players that we've seen all time. But the Warriors have some difficult roster decisions to make going into the future. And for Draymond, he's also trying to make another bag, secure another bag, and secure his future. And he wants to play basketball for a little while. And if he isn't getting paid up to the point that he thinks he should get paid, then maybe he leaves. And if he leaves, could it be the Detroit Pistons? Did go to Michigan State, grew up in Saginaw, Michigan, has 2 years left on his contract, but a player option in that final year. This report coming from Heavy, they said this: according to a source, Green has always wanted to play for the Pistons at some point. Being from Saginaw, Michigan, Green grew up rooting for the Pistons. Ben Wallace, defensive wizard, by the way, was his idol. And as is the case with any basketball player, getting the chance to play for his hometown team would likely be a dream come true. Draymond has always wanted to go there. He has always wanted to play for the Pistons, and they'll have the cap space. It's hard to see Draymond playing anywhere else outside of Golden State, but if it is going to happen anywhere, Detroit would be a good bet. Now, let's be real here for a moment here, folks. Maybe Draymond Green, growing up, wanted to play for the Detroit Pistons. That's the team that he grew up idolizing in the early 2000s with Ben Wallace, Rasheed Wallace, Tayshaun Prince, Rip Hamilton, Chauncey Billups. Those teams were competing for NBA championships. And with head coach Larry Brown, they were really good in the early 2000s. And that's when Draymond Green was growing up. So being a Michigan kid, growing up in that area, rooting on the Pistons, it's easy to see then why Draymond Green wanted to play for Detroit. But now / soonish, I don't believe it. Nor do I think that Draymond would actually want to go there. We're talking about one of the fiercest competitors that we've ever seen, a guy who prides himself on being intense, adding to a winning atmosphere, a winning culture. Now, maybe at the tail end of his career, if he's going to play like Michael Jordan did with the Washington Wizards, he rounds out with the hometown squad and gets a couple of minutes per game and helps that franchise kind of transition to a certain degree. But at the back end of his prime, I just don't see how this could happen, nor do I think it's going to happen. But if Draymond Green left the Golden State Warriors, what would your one-word reaction be? If you look at the stats, you're going to be like, Draymond Green, he can be replaced. But his overall imprint on the culture, on the floor, the impact that he's had, and the Hall of Fame player that he is, it'd be a monster blow. So give me that one-word reaction right now. On the other side of the equation, it's easy to see why the Detroit Pistons would want Draymond Green. He is the culture changer for a team that is trying to overturn and change that culture, because this has been a bad basketball organization over the last several years. They've lacked star power. They've lacked consistency. They've lacked playoff appearances. They made it a couple years ago when Blake Griffin was washed, and they got ousted in the first round. That doesn't really count as a playoff appearance in my books, at least legitimately. But they recently moved into a new arena, and to usher in that new arena, they have this really solid young core, led by Cade Cunningham, #1 pick from the 2021 NBA draft. Last couple of months last year, he was really tearing it up. And then in the top 5 this year, they selected Jaden Ivey, really uber athletic guard out of Purdue. Jalen Duren, another first-round pick for Detroit, the rookie who is a really springy and long big. Isaiah Stewart, really another solid player in that front court. Then Saddiq Bey, a really good 3-and-D guy. And we know that 3-and-D guys have a lot of value. Went to Villanova, played under Jay Wright, and adds to what the Pistons are trying to build right now, a new winning culture with a couple of really good young players. And we didn't even talk about some of the other cats who are on that roster. So for a young team that is trying to get back on track and maybe have that organization humming like they were in the early 2000s, Draymond Green certainly appealing. And according to reports out there, Detroit is interested in Draymond. And it's easy to see why, for all the reasons that I talked about, because of how he can change the complexion of games, how he can impact the culture and really turn things around like he's been able to do with the Warriors, the Dubs in the Bay Area. Now make sure you subscribe to us here on Warriors Today. This has been a historic stretch for us. It's been an absolute blast for me to host this channel. When I took over, 13,000 subs. Now we're only 337 people away from 45,000 subs. We're basically giving you videos almost every single day. Now that things have slowed down a little bit, might be a gap to let the videos breathe, but make sure you subscribe to the channel for the best, most consistent, most informative, most entertaining Warriors coverage on YouTube, and we involve our audience better than anybody. It's youtube.com/WarriorsTV, or just hit that red subscribe button down below. Want to round out with the Warriors preseason schedule. It was announced earlier this week, and a couple of really cool dates and locations where the Warriors are going to be able to play, like overseas. We'll get to that right around the corner. First, though, I want to tell you about this great deal. $20 off today only on this Warriors pullover if you head to chatsports.com/Warriors deal, and it's a really good deal. The material on this pullover, awesome. Couple of different colors that you can choose from. The classic Warriors blue, as well as this black-gray hybrid. I'll put this link in the comment section and the description of this video. Yeah, it's summertime in a lot of areas in which you're from, but if you're living in the San Francisco Bay Area, it can get cold, and elsewhere across the country and the world, it can get a little bit chilly. But then once the colder months come around, this is the perfect gear to wear. I love the quarter zip polos. I already got myself one of these. Chatsports.com/Warriors deal. Once again, you can find that link hanging out in the comment section and the description of this video. To the Warriors preseason schedule. They're going to be going overseas, and September 30th is when the preseason gets underway. That's when tip-off ensues, and it's going to come up right around the corner. I mean, shoot, here we are on August 11th, and the preseason training camp is going to be here before we know it. And the Dubs are going to be going over to Japan to take on the Washington Wizards for 2 games. Obviously, there isn't a home and away team. They're both technically away, but the Warriors and Wizards will switch off with what jerseys they're wearing. That kind of depends the home team to a certain degree. It determines the home team to a certain degree. But 2 games in Japan for the Golden State Warriors, the reigning NBA champions. And then on the 9th, they'll come back to San Francisco to play the Los Angeles Lakers. And because they're going over to Japan, no road games for the preseason outside of the international trip. So Lakers, Blazers, Nuggets, all of those games taking place at the Chase Center in San Francisco. If you're watching from Japan, I want to hear from you. Just type me in the comment section right now. I take a look at the analytics, and people are literally tuned in from all across the globe, which is why it's such a pleasure to host this channel. But if you're rocking and rolling with us from Japan, shout out to you. Type me in the comment section. What to watch for the Dubs in preseason? Couple of things. Great international opportunity for a team that has international influence. The Warriors have become a worldwide brand on top of being a nationwide brand. And I think we've seen a little bit of a switch among those younger generation of NBA fans where they don't necessarily root on a team, they root on a player. But because Steph Curry has had such a profound impact on the way that basketball is played, basketball culture, and the NBA as a whole, a lot of young fans root on the Warriors. That includes a large international audience in Japan. Health and play of James Wiseman going to be one of the biggest storylines for Golden State in preseason play. So too is the development of Jonathan Kuminga and Moses Moody. So 3 players that I'm really looking forward to watching going into their sophomore campaigns for Kuminga and Moody, and then the 3rd season for James Wiseman. But if it was baseball, maybe Wiseman would be in his 2nd year because he didn't play at all a year ago. And then the health of Patrick Baldwin Jr. and Ryan Rollins. They didn't play in the summer league. We didn't get to see anything from them because they were dealing with their respective injuries. So I want to see if they are worthy of those 1st and 2nd round picks for the defending NBA champions. If you're excited about the Dubs, before we hop on out of here, I want you to hit that thumbs up icon and like the video. And if you're a real one, you'll smash that thumbs up icon and like the video. As always, appreciate all of you for watching today's show, making what we do a part of your process, a part of your day. Don't forget to subscribe, and we'll see you next time here on Warriors Today.